Hi, I'm Justin O'Neill Graham.
And I'm Nariba Shepherd.
And this is Terms of Service. Let's go. Okay, great. I'm soaked.
Yeah.
But how are you?
I'm doing good.
Okay.
I'm waiting for the sunlight to be regular again. Like,
yeah, I mean, you know, it's March now. So
I know. It will still be irregular.
Yeah, absolutely.
Winter is forever.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, yeah. You said winter is forever young.
Forever here.
Okay, forever
as in
here.
Chicago.
That's fair. Absolutely.
No, just trying to survive every day.
I mean, it's valid.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So
that's where I'm at for the next 4 years.
Yeah, but I'm happy to see you.
Same.
Not convincing, but that's
wow.
fine.
Okay,
Yeah,
sorry for being myself. I guess I'll go fuck off now.
It's entirely fine. I was like, no, you don't have to do. I'm good.
Boo. I don't believe that's how it felt.
No, I'm good. I'm happier, and I'm very stoked and fortunate to keep us keeping on and working with you and Max and Jojo. Hi Jojo, thank you so very much. Terms of service, it's the whole thing.
Allegedly.
I mean, allegedly, because you don't believe that anyone listens to this.
I don't think anyone is listening to this.
Well, I promise you that they are.
I know. They're out there. They're listening.
Yeah, 160,000 plus on it. So yeah, I was like, no. No stress.
No, the math.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense.
But well, we have some guests.
We have people here. Yes.
Absolutely. And I'm looking at someone that I have known for years, and it's just it's a weird kind of amalgamation to how we know one another, the work that we've done together, and then just us being together in terms of service. And also, holy shit, I am also looking at her fucking husband. This is crazy. Jordyn, hi. How are you?
Hello.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't mean to say hello, but I mean, shit. I'm so stoked. How are you?
So good.
Good.
Very excited to be able to chat with you both and talk about all the things.
Yeah, it's gonna be so much fun. Oscar, hi.
Hello.
Very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet y'all too.
Yeah. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
Great.
Yeah, things are good.
Yeah. You're about to vibe out.
I am.
Yeah. It's the middle of the day on a Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna have a conversation. It's gonna be real chill.
Easy peasy.
But before we get into anything more about yourselves, I immediately need to know both of your signs.
Starting with Jordyn.
I am a Virgo, and I don't remember my rising.
Nice.
Nuri was like, yes.
Nice.
There you go.
And
absolutely.
I'm a Leo.
Okay.
This is actually...
I don't know if that side's good or bad.
This is a very good pairing. A Virgo and a Leo.
Yes.
Because someone has to be organized.
That's not me.
Oh. Tell me more. Tell me more about your
I was
chaos,
just
Virgo.
actually, yeah.
I mean, we can be in certain moments, but in general, he is the system mind, and I have an idea, and I need a system, please.
Yes. Okay. So this is what I was talking about with the overlap in this union, because Leos are very much gonna be out there, and they are very similar to Virgos in that there is a plan. Everything has to look good, but it also has to make sense. And I personally am a Virgo rising, and I think it's the only thing holding me together in terms of being put together in society, but it's because it's my rising. I think that Virgos have to be on a lot, and Leos are a natural state of being on. Like, they're always out there with a smile and like, well, not always with a smile, but the aggression is still friendly. It's like friendly fire.
His aggression is way more friendly than mine.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's like-
I love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah.
I think this makes sense.
Does Nariba's
My read doesn't matter.
yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Does her kind of calculation make any sense here?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Okay. I will take
I'm
it,
vibing
but,
with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we'll see more as the conversation goes on.
Oh, for sure, because it becomes a lot more nuanced.
Yes. Well, I also think that this is all statistic based. So like not everyone is going to fit into the category like, you know, previous guests have mentioned. But I do think that statistics
And previous guests have shown.
yeah. I think that it's just a common overlap that we're going to see in certain groups. So it might not always be exact because like I'm not a perfect Aries. Apparently I'm too nice. Nothing? Okay.
I was like, you're
Whoa.
amazing. You're amazing. You're amazing. You're amazing.
Well, I
April
like-
15th, let's go.
I like the combo order because you have your sign, but then do you know your personality type?
Yeah.
So
Right.
then you get a little bit into, you know, both sides of what you
The stars
have a
and the
tendency.
science.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a tendency to trip into
Right.
unknowingly.
I have to
Do you know
delete
your
the
personality
Yeah.
type?
I don't.
Oscar, what do you think?
You know,
He's a simple man.
It's like,
No, far from it. He's the philosophical and
oh
in
my
the
gosh.
That's usually how the simple man comes though.
okay.
I
like-
think hearing people's perspectives are interesting.
yeah.
I don't know a lot about the signs, but I think it's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's always room for mystery.
That's what I'm saying.
For sure.
So
you're Mr. So you're, you're mystery. Because now
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
curious. And also, what the fuck is in my eyes? Sorry.
Girl, what did you
one
say that
moment.
your Siri's popping off right now?
I know. She's nosy. But anyway, so Oscar, because of your reaction, I want to start with you.
okay.
How do you feel like you are? You know, in regards to
Your existence as a human on this mortal coil.
no, it doesn't have to be that deep.
That's
But like,
gonna be
how
his
do
favorite
you
subject.
how do you navigate a lot of things? You know,
That's a great question. I was resonating with a lot what you were saying in terms of, you know, having a plan. But for me, it's not really a plan. It's just I need to have a vision.
Yes. Yes.
right? Cool.
You know, I'm a very visionary type person. So if I don't have it, then I'm
Yep.
or just like, you know, I'm going to avoid, you know, this path.
That's
Right.
So-
very Leo.
Yeah.
So
Coded.
if that's very Leo, that's very
It's
me.
very-
Okay.
Well,
Yeah,
okay.
cool.
I just
So-
want everyone to remember that Dochi exists out in the world right now.
Yeah.
And she's a Leo that I fucks with.
That's
and
fair.
she talks very similar to you in terms of like, she always wanted to do something. And when she didn't know what that something was, she fell into a bunch of other things that like sort of put her in that direction, but not directly on it. And I feel like we all have a little bit of that in us. But the thing with Leos is that they have the confidence within themselves to like commit to whatever it is they're going to try. And I know it takes a lot to like continue through with something when you start it, and a lot of people don't have that kind of perseverance. And I'm not saying that because you're a Leo, but because in terms of the way that you approach life,
Sure.
you're able to succeed at what you need to do. I don't have that energy because
She's like,
I
I'm not
second
doing-
guess a lot, and I shy on the side of I'm not going to do it if I'm not going to be good at it. Which I'm learning could be detrimental, but
you're doing this,
I'm
have to
trying.
remind you about this all the time. I was
know,
like, this is
I know.
very real.
I'm trying.
Yeah, you know.
I'm trying.
It just kind of helps me narrow down choices because I'm also extremely ambitious. So, you know, your question was, how do you...
And, like, you're confident in your ambition, right?
Yeah, and you know, your question was, how do you navigate life? And it's like, you know, I really need that direction. You know, I really need that that clarity to help me, you know, choose.
Yeah.
So,
you know, that's in general how I'm navigating life these days.
I love that.
Respect.
I love that. Yes. So, Jordyn, you being a Virgo, talk to us about that. I don't know. Like, I mean,
The
Nariba's
spectrum
like, yeah.
is a girl, like, being a Virgo is a spectrum. From girlhood to nah. So
Okay.
You can be however you want
Great.
in this world.
Yeah. So, go ahead.
Yeah, I am also not quite as confident in the star signs either. I've always found them fascinating, and I love kind of diving into other people's understanding because I feel like I have a lot to learn there. But I mean, I think the unique thing about having an understanding of the base of where you're coming from, it doesn't define all your decisions, right?
Yeah.
But it gives you a context, and also the more you know about other people and how they are born into this world, it honestly, for me, it's been more so a way to have grace for those around me.
Yes.
When you understand how someone else operates, because even though we inherently know that people are different than us, you don't automatically remember that in moments of tension without gaining the wisdom of truly understanding how someone else operates. So
Cool.
I think that's been a learning journey in discovering what all that looks like.
Yeah.
She called me the philosophical one. I don't know.
Yeah, right. You're like, wait, pause.
But I mean, this is what happens when you're married to a philosopher for 10 years. Sometimes it rubs off.
Yeah, no, I love it. And so, I feel like sometimes I just, kind of start the conversation through the lens of terms of service as very, like it's chapter driven, which I'm not interested or trying to do in regards to this context. But to begin, I would love to hear about both of yours respective backgrounds. Starting with you, Jordyn, because I'm looking at you. Yeah, I was just like, so how, like, what, like, who
Where
are
you're
you?
from.
Yeah, all the
You
things.
can't ask people who they are.
I know.
Why
I know,
are you
but I'm
the
doing
way
it right
that
now.
you are?
Yeah. Just like, start with where you were born
Sure.
and go from there.
So, so I guess,
That's where she's from.
yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So
I did not object to that question. I objected to, who are you?
I know.
Yeah,
I hate that
that's-
question.
yeah, I know.
I know. So, tell us
Well-
about yourself.
my name is Jordyn Sotelo.
Yes.
And I am originally from Michigan and moved to Chicago back in 2010 and actually came here specifically to dive into the hospitality world. Went to culinary school, thinking that, honestly at the time I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but I knew I really enjoyed restaurants and hospitality. I very quickly realized in culinary school that I definitely did not want to be a chef, but it was kind of an open door.
Yeah.
And started in the back of house, and actually my first job in Chicago post university was actually at a VEC. And I was on that tiny little crazy hotline, and that was during the time that
You worked that hotline?
Wait, how long were you at a VEC?
it was just under a year.
Okay. I was like, that is on brand for one-off hospitality.
Yeah.
Well, and it was interesting because at that time the original chef was still involved, Karen, which I believe she's in New York still now. She moved a few years ago, and she was an incredible chef. I loved how strong of a leader she was. She was very direct. She was so creative, and I wanted to work for a strong woman chef because I'd never really seen that in my experience. And during my time at Avec was when I also had an opportunity to apply for a job at Charlie Trotter's. And I always wanted to get into more fine dining. And during university, I worked at a little vegetarian fine dining place called Green Zebra. And that was my first kind of
Shout out
teaser
to
into
Green
that.
Zebra, yeah.
The OG, OG fine dining.
For those that know, no. Yeah, for those that don't,
I've
sorry.
heard whispers of her.
Green Zebra was...
But she was before my time.
She was delish. She was delish.
Yeah.
And so, when I was at Avec...
Did you work with Justin White?
Yeah.
We'll talk about that off mic. That's awesome. Okay, very nice. Okay, maybe it's not awesome, but yeah we'll talk about it. Yeah, okay.
Well, so
no shade, no tea.
Yeah, during that time, I actually approached Karin and told her, hey, I would love to apply for this job to try fine dining. I love working here, but I also know that I don't want to be a chef, and with your permission and support, I'd love to apply. And she was so kind. She gave me a super great recommendation and helped me put my little foot in the door, and ended up getting the job. And that's when I switched fully to exclusively front of house. And that was kind of where that last just under 2 years that I was there.
How was that transition for you?
So even though I had quote unquote front of house experience and fine dining experience back in Michigan, I started as a food runner at Charlie Trotter's, and they kind of started everyone there. It was in that last 2 years of them, closing down. And at the time that we didn't know that they were officially closing down, they hadn't announced it yet when we joined the team. But that was very much in the trenches, and there was kind of this unspoken rule that no one got to know a food runner's name until they had been there for a minimum of 6 months, because most people don't survive.
That's the general feel still in some places.
And it's the team that we had closing, like I hear all these stories of the last few years of Trotters was not the best, but what I can say is that the leadership team that was there with Christian was the GM. He was an incredible leader, and no matter what type of chaotic, crazy thing happened, Trotter always had his unique styles of operating and leaving and communicating with people. There's plenty of tales out there about that, but something that really
well documented. Yes.
Something that affected me deeply that I think is not as documented is how incredible Christian was at uniting both front of house and back of house, and encouraging people to take whatever challenge presented itself and use it as a way to come closer. And he always, referenced us as, kind of like a basketball team, but I've heard a lot of people use sports analogies that were the worst and didn't really make sense. But he was very, very good at, even when someone royally messed up, used it as a learning and growth opportunity, and didn't run people through the ground or make them feel like crap. He genuinely wanted to unite people, and that was such a beautiful introduction to,
and like uplifting as well.
And that, we would work insane hours. Like I would always get there between 10 and 11 a.m. and never left until 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
And there is a unity with the people that did kind of survive that or go through that, where in, I think, all of our heart of hearts, you hear someone that worked at Charlie Trotter's for a long period of time, and like, I know I could count on that person. I would work with him in a heartbeat.
Well, that's a trauma bond.
Well, no, I think the trauma bonds were restaurants after that. I think I realized that while it was difficult, there was a trust and a consistency.
I'm not saying it's that part. I'm saying it's the trauma of going into work at 11 a.m. and not leaving until 4 a.m. and then getting up and doing it the next day, that is a trauma.
Sure.
Because we're meant to sleep for like
that's
8 hours.
But I mean, I think there was also I think there was also like an excitement about it though too. Like there was like, while it was difficult, like we were so like proud to be there. Like there was such a pride and we loved it. And sometimes Trotter would have like really great days and you're like, man, this is so positive. And sometimes it would be, you just never knew kind of what to expect when he would walk in the door. And if something was heavy or hard, you know, if you, at the end of the day, walked away as a better person, you know, it was worth it. Versus experiences that I had after that in environments that were equally as challenging, but there wasn't any unity. Yeah. And there wasn't someone looking to build the team up from that. That's where it became super toxic and super negative.
Do you not think that that's sort of like a hazing for the future? Because you come in at this place that gave you this feeling of like, yes, this is going to be hard. And you get touched with the some days are good, some days are bad. And you just move into your next job thinking this is normal. And then you realize that like you've gotten a variation of the same. Because like I feel like my experience in fine dining wasn't traumatic when I was in it. But then as soon as COVID happened, I realized that I had been hazed for like 10 years because I didn't know any differently. And so like that's why when people are like, no, it's not as like traumatic as we think, it's because we set the bars on like what we think is acceptable. Yeah. Sure. And it keeps pushing and pushing and pushing. And like I am very grateful for all the things that I experienced and went through because it made me a better like line cook or sous chef or chef. But I realized that like if my child told me some of the things that I've been through, I'd be like, oh no. Like, that's what I mean. That's how.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, I think part of what I'm doing here, or we're trying to do here, is change how this is, like, progressing.
Yeah.
Well,
so that people come in
but then also still acknowledging like the independent journeys, right?
Yes,
because it's like
everyone's reality is different.
Yeah, and everyone experiences it differently, right? Yeah. And I immediately think about like, you know, so I'm just gonna throw in like my hat in the ring, right? So I worked at El Toro and it was awful and great and awful and great. It was awful and great, but it was great ultimately in hindsight because what I learned, the standard, the storytelling, the narrative, the commitment, like, you know, it's just like for me, if I say, and I feel like I've said this before, it's just like I still commit to that entire journey because like that has helped propel me to where I am now, right? Like that's a thing, and so like that should never be discredited, and it should always be acknowledged and celebrated for those that like went through it, right? And I just automatically think I was like, damn, I was like, shit was like crazy fucking hard. But it's just like, you know, but it was low-key hard for a reason. Yeah. You know, because it was the time, it was the expectation, it was the standard, it was the societal, you know, like pressure, like all of these things to where, of course, you can always look back at things and be like, well, that was less than ideal. Yeah. But at the time, it helped mold you into what you're able to accomplish now. Oh, unfortunately, while also being fortunate.
Yeah. I feel like Avec was like probably the best first like situation because it's not high volume, but it kind of is. It's like a quick turn and burn.
Yeah, Jordyn's
I
like,
was
yeah.
the volume that they do there is insane still today. But yeah, that was definitely that was an extremely challenging.
Jordyn, I had no idea that you worked at a vet.
Yeah.
That's so
I
cool.
shared an alley because I was at Blackbird, and every time I would like have to borrow the pasta machine or something, I'd go over to a VEC, and it's like 1,000 people in there coming and going, doing the whole thing.
Yep.
And like,
Because then, especially as a line cook, like you're also in front of
everyone
and a giant hot oven, so you're just like sweating profusely
Profusely.
for 10 hours a day.
Yeah.
So
whatever they say
Yeah.
in Wicked, you're fine.
Yeah, you're fine.
and and I think that's where that was also really great as far as helping build standards. But I think that's where that attention to detail and curating the story, that was definitely groundwork put at Trotters.
Yeah.
Going from there to someplace like Grace, when they opened, they have their own wild, crazy, mostly undocumented stories that I'm sure people have heard sprinkles of.
But also, I mean, it's just like, again, to your point, it's, I understand exactly what you're saying, but I'm also seeing it through the lens of my experience as well. It becomes a foundation of, it's kind of, I don't want to say hazing, but it's just like, this is what like you have to do
You gotta
to
do
like,
it.
Well,
I
think is
respectfully,
hospitality is notoriously known for being a very negative, toxic environment.
Yes.
And I think something, with Oscar and I now being at a place where we are partners in a restaurant, we are about to open a fine dining restaurant, we ask ourselves those hard questions of like, okay, well, how can we care about the story, have these high expectations, but then also create an environment where our team is built up. Like, I don't want to have a fine dining restaurant that people, have a constant revolving door.
Yes.
Like it's very expensive to have to constantly retrain people. Like, I don't understand why that
People
seems
think it's so like.
But also,
there seems to not be a passion about this.
Pause, because I definitely wanted to get into that in unison. Oscar. I was like,
Where'd you come from?
I was just like, talk to us. Who are you, dog?
Wow, where do I start?
Wherever you want.
So we'll start with my hospitality journey. My parents came here from Mexico, and I was born in Little Village.
Cool.
And hospitality is just a way of life for us, and so in hindsight, it was just, it being a part of life. I kind of in one sense, I accidentally fell into the restaurant business, but now looking back,
but it was kind of like predetermined.
It was like, it was destiny. Yeah, for sure. My first restaurant, true restaurant job, I had worked odds and ends, but was at the Old School Perennial.
Oh, wow.
Under Chef Ryan Poley. And this was...
Sorry, we'll talk about that off mic. We'll talk about,
This was back when the Boca Group had 2 or 3 restaurants.
Okay.
So I started my journey with Boca. Wow. But, I left before it kind of just blew up and became, this monster. For me, it was still, a little grassroots when I was there. And that was probably the most influential experience that I could have in my career and my trajectory. So I just fell in love.
And were you back of house, front
of house? Always front of house. Always front. And
and for those that are listening, there's always this disconnect between front of house and back of house that we always try to like, build a, cohesive bridge, right? So, front of house traditionally is always seen as, the ones that make the money, so on and so forth. And then everything else kind of falls to the wayside. Can you talk a little bit about like how like that bridge was built between like your experience in the front of house and then everything that you were inspired by and was a part of in the back of house as well?
Yeah, that disconnect always inherently made me feel uncomfortable, even when I didn't truly understand a lot about the restaurant business. Because in my mind, they're integral to the customer experience, to the guest experience.
Absolutely.
So I think, being united, which is, what you were talking about, Jordyn, that the unity is very important. So I feel like we did that well at Perennial. I feel like the chef team was really in tune with our guests, and we truly did operate as a team.
Awesome.
Of course, that front of house makes the money. I started to learn a little bit of that.
A little bit like the politics and the bureaucracy between both. Yeah.
Right. But the places that, in my experience, that do it best have a great unity amongst the team, and then there's this unifying goal of creating great experiences for guests.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of things are going to change in the next couple of years when the tipping situation is pulled out of the equation.
Oh, and we're about to we're going to get into all of that.
Oh, yeah, no, 110%.
Yeah.
But I think that's going to be like another change that will unify front and back of house, because
it becomes an equalizer, you feel?
It becomes a situation where, like, I personally was offended when I saw my first front of house paycheck after being an executive chef, and it was more than my salary for the 2 weeks. And that's when I realized how great the divide actually was.
Right, but also $15 an hour it's not. Most servers make between $25 an hour for support. Most servers make around $30 an hour.
Right.
So the whole minimum wage is now $15-$16. I'm like, okay, well, that's literally half of what servers make.
I understand, but as a line cook, I was making $17 flat, and that's with them taking taxes out. So the divide is great.
Oh yeah, huge.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, bars and restaurants are now expected to slowly increase the prices of their food and beverage to start preparing for the accommodation of that, which I think in turn is going to start a conversation with customers about how much things actually cost. And I think also they're starting to have that moment of waking up about it, because going to the grocery store is now reflecting why we would be making these changes in the service industry.
Right, and it's going to be interesting too, because you're like, okay, well, this move is supposed to quote unquote, help, right?
Yeah.
But all of your current server staff and front of house staff that is depending on that, right? You're putting now that weight on the restaurant establishment that already has the most minuscule profit margins, unless you're
because the profits have been built on a system that expected guests to pay for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. The whole system is going to have to be rewritten. And I think for me, I feel like that is the beginning of a shift in how people treat us in the food service industry and how we treat each other, front of house, back of house, management, owners, because the liability is now on us.
Right.
So then if I may ask, because we're obviously segueing into this. You know, I'm interested in, you know, and I feel like people that are listening, they're just like, you know, ask them how they met. But I care more, it's just like, how did you all like unify to create the businesses that you have together? Jordan's like, well,
No once or twice.
eh,
Well, I mean, I feel like
whatever you're comfortable
Well, yeah.
sharing.
So taking kind of a step back.
Yeah.
You know, I think it was back in like 2017 or 2018. We decided that we wanted to have something of our own. We weren't sure exactly what it was, but something involved with the hospitality world, and we wanted to do it together. And at that point in time, Oscar and I, when we first met, we met when it was in between the time that Charlie Trotters closed and Grace was opening. So there was like 2 months that I floated over at GT's Fish and Oyster, which is where he was working for quite a bit with the Boca Group there after Perennial.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. R.I.P.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's another restaurant that is very chef driven, very similar to Trotter and his style of leadership and management. Always, you know, high standards,
Yeah, that was
but
Giuseppe.
high standards, unpredictable, and, you know, was great place that was, to me, it was kind of similar. It was very similar to where I came from as far as people, but obviously just a little more casual. So we never really worked together on something that was from the ground up. So it's not like we like worked together for a long time and then decided this was a good idea. I think that as our relationship grew, we were actually only pretty much just friends for like 3 years, and went from just friends to married. We didn't have this like long. We also didn't have this long time where we spent a lot of time dating, moving in with each other, figuring out who each other was. We kind of discovered all of that in that first year of marriage.
Together, quote unquote, right?
But it was something that when we realized that we did care deeply for each other, and we both felt like we wanted to walk into the season of like, hey, I'm committed to you, and I want to either be fully committed or not, and neither of us wanted to, you know, be in this weird dating phase, and it just made sense. It was very clear, and we both trusted each other, and so I think that as our relationship grew and as our understanding of how each other worked, that's where kind of that desire and wanting to position ourselves to actually do something together, because our strengths and weaknesses counterbalance each other really well. And I, you know, even looking back, I myself as an individual am such a more complex person by getting to know and learning. Well, getting to know and learning his personality, though.
Yes,
because he operates in a way that's much, you know, slower to speak and having a clear plan, where I am very quick to speak and move really fast, and being able to learn how to honor how he operates. I've been able to also kind of take on some of his strengths, and it's like you almost get a whole second perspective. So I can think about like, hey, this is how I respond, but now I can also slow down and be like, how would Oscar respond? And so
it makes me so emotional, because I mean, that's like, that aptitude and that approach is very beautiful. And just like, it's like, I mean, I can only speak for me, but that's very like inspirational as well. Like,
and I've had a lot of people come up to us and say like, oh, I can't believe you work with your husband. I could never work with my husband. You know, I can't stand them. Like, we would kill each other if we were ever in that space for a long period of time. And I think it's really funny, because there's a difference between having someone in your life that is just there, and you know, you're there to go to dinner and there to come home to. But in order to have truly a life partner, if you're building a life partner and you're walking on this journey together and you're stepping into the same direction, it's not that you don't have to work with each other, right? But if you're both pursuing goals that you are united in, then that journey to understanding how to communicate well and how to be able to be so in tune with your partner that it makes you a better person and you want to help make them a better person, it becomes your most powerful secret weapon. And to me, when I hear those comments like, oh, I could never,
that's beautiful.
and I'm like, oh man, I could never work with my husband, a word spouse. And I was like, honestly, to me, that's like, I know you mean it as a joke, but that just tells me that your relationship's pretty surface. Because you have to get past all of those things. Because if you're aligned with someone that isn't helping you be better and that you're not proud to be like, hey, like we are so in tune that we can handle anything because I know that he's got my back. And I want him to also feel that same way of like, you can step in anything and I've got your back. And I want to learn how to do this better so that we can conquer anything. So I think it's a very different mindset of deciding like, okay, well, this is what I've chosen this person. Not because I just want them to like exist as a body. Like,
I think I agree with that because I remember when I was like an executive chef and I started dating this guy on Tinder. He would come into my job a lot and he like, I would never have to ask him, but he would like come into the kitchen when we were like, and just hang out in the corner. But he would like hop on dishes sometimes and be helping the dishwasher because he could see that we're like struggling to like get through everything. And I was like, is this my love language? Someone who can like tell when I need help and when I don't need help. And like, I mean, for the next like year and a half, he was basically at every single event with me, helping like unload and make sure things were there. And I was like, I mean, I still feel like I would not work with him personally.
Well,
that's just because I am like not someone who wants help. And I think that's what it is. But I like it when people help me without having to ask.
Sure. Well,
Oscar, what do you think about?
Like, you know, I'm coming for you.
I'm thinking about a lot of things.
I just feel like because I know that everything that you just said, it's very significant. But my question directly is, you know, like the foundation, right? Like the foundation of, I don't want to say the relationship, but the foundation of the partnership.
Yes.
The foundation of the partnership to then scale from there, because you both are like killing it. And then you already are, and we'll talk about it later, like, you know, just other things, you know, potentially coming down the pipeline as well. So how is that process for you? And
what you got going on?
You know, like, how does, you know, I'm just really curious, and I feel like we all are curious about like the connect.
Like, what is your because everyone who's listening doesn't know. So where are y'all now? Like, what is your venture that you have entered into together?
Right.
Sure. Great question.
Yeah.
You know, I've never really been a lone wolf. So, you know, working for Boca was Rob and Kevin. You know, and then I had the privilege to work with Rick Bayless for a good amount of time, and it's Rick and Deanne, inseparable.
Yeah.
And Jordyn's just incredible. So she's an incredible partner. And you know, just she's so skilled and has this amazing experience. And you know, we're both in hospitality, and I'm like, I'm always the what's next.
Yeah.
You know. So okay, what's next is we own our own.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
And discover it on the way. So we
Discover it on the way is a very Leo statement.
I'm a journey guy.
Yeah.
So
You're like, I love the whole journey.
We purchased an event space and started doing a bunch of stuff out of there. One of the things was hosting these chef dinners.
Was this in 2017?
No,
or
this would have been in 2020.
Okay.
Yeah, we purchased this space and
I love that space.
Yeah,
Jordyn knows.
It's so cool. We just started to curate things out of there and really, just try to be creative and innovative with the space as much as we could. And it led into doing some chef dinners with Chef Steven, who I worked with working for Rick Bayless.
Okay.
And he was just kind of ready to venture out on his own, and we connected, and we were like, well,
may
have
I interject?
Sure.
Super quickly. So, with the enthusiasm, is there were there any kind of qualifiers? Because I know it as well. It's just like, so it has worked out well, but I'm just curious, and I know that people that are listening would be very curious as well. It's just like, so, you feel very inspired, you feel very empowered by like people that have come through your space and like, yes, let's like do X, Y, and Z, and they may not, be at the scale in which you envision, but they're great. I don't want to say baseline, but they're great in one capacity.
Well, what does that have to do with their space?
Everything.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's hear it.
Yes.
Can you rephrase the question?
That's
feel
real.
like, so my direct question is, when there is interest in the space that really focuses on, this larger scale dialogue and this larger scale impact, how do you navigate the expectations to ensure the integrity of the space and your overall vision? That is my question. But also, it's just like, it's difficult, right?
I think.
Yeah.
Well, and I think, and I know Oscar can speak to this. I think part of that process was a little bit of the learning as we go, because when we bought the space,
Right.
and the opportunity to work with Steven to launch these dinners, I think those conversations were.
Because you both do a great job with that, though.
Well,
like,
and
that's the whole thing. Like, it's amazing.
Having a vision of like how to tell the story and how to make people feel not only welcome but at home into whatever concept we're trying to create.
Yeah. And again, like, that's why I wanted to bring it up, because like, you kill it. It's absolutely amazing, and it's so inspiring to see. Honestly.
Yeah, I like that question, because we're approached by a lot of people to do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, right.
So how do you,
Yeah.
And I don't know if I can
place a yes versus a no, like,
Yeah, a lot of it, is our experience and intuition.
Yeah.
I have a lot of hood sense.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of people who want to do a lot of things, but you can just start to assess pretty quickly, and I can tell pretty quickly whether this venture is going to be worth it or not.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm not just speaking monetarily.
Mm-hmm.
Is there an ethic that resonates with you?
Yes.
Is the vision moving me? Because I'm a vision guy. So if you want to get, that's the quickest way to my heart. Tell me a compelling vision.
Right.
Because if it resonates with me, then I can visualize it resonating with other people.
It, like, I want to feel it.
But people that come to you without any of that, it's just, it's all good. Maybe not good timing, but just,
See,
it doesn't
I feel like
work.
I'm one of those other people. in life because I
fair, yeah.
like have an idea of what I want to do, but I never really want to do it. So like,
Go ahead, yeah.
oh,
Continue.
so I just like, I feel like people
I love this point.
are more
Yeah.
confident
Yeah.
in things that they want to do, whereas I more so question whether or not I should be doing it. So I'll never even make it to like your email. Be like, I'll have the idea and I'll never
Sure.
do anything
Yeah.
about it. And I know that like that sounds crazy as I am sitting here on a podcast that's in its like 4th season or whatever.
It's a
But
fifth. Oh my God!
This is
talk about
season
it. We'll
4.
talk about it.
Is this not season
offline.
4?
And we're in our 5th year, but it's okay.
But is this season 4 we're recording?
No.
What? We're in season 5?
No, we're in season 4.
That's what
but,
the fuck I'm saying.
It's
You
season 4.
Yeah.
I want to be interviewing y'all.
We're doing great. We're doing great. We're doing
Thank you.
great. We're doing great.
Jesus. Anyway,
I
as
love what
was
you're saying.
Yeah.
I love what you're saying.
I think that like people always want to like do great things, but I want to be like a regular bitch and say that you don't
they
have
want
to
to
do
do
great things. But
great
if you
things
do want to do it,
conceptually.
then these are the people to talk to, because it seems like they're not going to like lead someone down a path and just take their money and not like have a standard for the work that you're doing. And it sounds to me like y'all have a standard driven by your ability to see whether or not it's going to be fruitful either way.
Yeah.
That's correct. You have to. I mean, yeah. I mean,
You're like,
it
nailed.
benefits both. You know, because there's just a certain level of, you know, homework or experience that you need to take the next logical step. You know, and you know, and we're happy to help get people along on that step. I mean, we're just figuring out, you know, as like I said, like to say as we go as well. Yeah.
But may I say something to where I feel like it's, you all are like a step above that, very respectfully. Like, I'm not saying that you know, you're above like helping, you know, people that are trying to ascend, but I also feel like you all are like almost like, it's not it I mean, yes, it's strategic, but it's very conscious. It's very supportive in a way to where it makes a lot of sense, to where like even if you say no, it's still empowering.
Sure.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're not like shitting on people's like,
He
you know,
doesn't
dreams or whatever.
look like the kind of person who's gonna
No, but
shit on
also,
someone's dreams.
but it's different though, because like everyone is different, and
Yeah.
you know, the presentation of no is diverse.
Oh yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
So
I be shitting on people's
Well,
dreams.
for those that can't see me, I'm wearing a Support Your Friends Little Village Chicago shirt by Kids
Jojo, let's get that.
Kids of Immigrants and
Just
from,
like, let's
from
go.
LA.
Yeah.
Quick shout out to them. But I think that's, you know, that's just a passion of mine, is you know, building up, you know, our community. You know, Chicago is incredible. There's incredible community, but not everybody has that mindset of helping each other out and supporting each other.
Right. Yeah. those are realities,
And you know it, and I'm like, I just can't vibe with that.
That's real.
We have a lot of help now and have had a lot of help along the way.
Yeah.
So that's just, for me, that's just how we're gonna be. We're gonna help people and be people focused, and you know, focused on relationships, and you know, doing what we can to build up, you know, this community.
Takes a village.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Speaking of it taking a village, side note, these people have a child.
Yeah.
I didn't know that
Yeah.
because I wasn't shown any pictures, Oscar. but
My memory is maxed out. It's all my baby girl, man.
I know.
Shoot.
Yo.
But like, I think that I joke a lot when like guests are like, "Oh, how's your day doing?" And I'm like, still working for a living. Capitalism, am I right? I got mouths to feed, my 2 cats. I feel like if I had a actual human child to feed, I feel like my projection of like ambition would change, because right now it's just me. Oh my God,
She's
that's
the
a
best.
human.
She's the best. She's the best. She's the best.
Changes
She's the
everything.
best. Oh, she's
Listen,
the best.
Changes
She's the best.
everything.
They're the best version of us. Children, I love it, because they will literally say whatever's in their mind.
But you're literally
have-
talking to parents.
I know. Well, yes, I know. I grew up with like 30 nieces and nephews, and I was like older, so I feel like my nephew turned 21 the other day, and I was there from the beginning. I was like, girl, that's crazy. You a man. Wild.
You go out.
But like, it was the first time I got on FaceTime with him on his birthday and didn't cry, because I saw him from the time he was like just memorizing random shit we would tell him and then like spew it back into the universe. Like, there was a point in time where he would know if the Dow Jones was up or down just because his dad talked about it so much. And I was like, that's crazy. But then the first time I was in a relationship with someone who is not a dude, he was like, Aunt Reba, that person makes you happy, and that's all that matters. And I'm like, you're 7. Shut your mouth, you're making me cry. So yeah, I've learned a lot from kids about like how to be in the world, and now I make friends like I'm an 8-year-old on vacation. I'm just like, what's going on? I like Hot Pockets and I like Tamagotchis, and so I've made a lot of adult friends like that.
Yeah.
Shout out to kids.
How
Sorry.
has that journey been for you
while
both?
working in this industry?
I mean, like, the industry feels so impossible at times, right? Like, I mean, you all aren't just contributors, but you're leaders, you're facilitators, right? And you are both in a relationship with one another, and you have a child. Like,
Well,
I mean-
technically multiple babies.
yeah,
also
but
have-
you know,
Facts.
but
Yeah.
facts. But it's just like it's really
I've had a lot of
important to like
experience.
for people that are listening. It's like, how do you navigate? And I mean, and I don't want to say like compartmentalize, but maybe it is like
Sure.
in regards to, you know, it's like, this is what we have to do. Like right now, we have to take care of our daughter. Like I would love to hear about your journey through that lens as well.
I think it's very helpful to start to think about that well before the baby comes.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we had a lot of these discussions, and you know, again, I'm going to mention Rick and Deanne Bayless. You know, just kind of watching how they operate. You know, he did an interview one day, and he's very successful in many different ways, and you know, but he said, you know, but what I'm most proud of is my family, and you know that really hit me. So when he opened his first restaurant, he was married to Deanne, and they had Lainey, and they had a crib for her on the second floor of the restaurant because they didn't have any other way to do it. So she just became part of their life, their restaurant life, and that's all she ever knew.
Yep.
So I think I wanted to have that intention to integrate our baby into our lives as much as we possibly could in the healthiest possible way. So being business
So
owners,
you want to make me fucking cry.
so
Okay, great.
you know, being
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Being
like, that's
owners
so beautiful.
it's difficult in many ways, but one thing that it does allow us to do is to have her around, you know, because you know, nobody's gonna complain.
No. No.
No,
you know,
not
this is
at
it.
all.
This is it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Not
like
at all.
I don't have to answer, you know,
No.
to anybody. I'm bringing my baby girl to work today,
Yep.
and that's it.
Yeah.
And that's been just just really incredible for us.
That has been like my favorite part of being in like restaurants is when my boss's kids randomly come in. I'm like, bruh,
It's amazing.
it's like a little field trip. I'm like, you trying to crack some eggs? I got these eggs.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
You're like, there we go. Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, I wanted to work for a like woman who was a chef and like had a family so I could see how it was done when I was still on the chef lifestyle train. And now that I'm bartending, I feel like there's a whole different set of questions that I'm asking.
Sure.
Like, I can't imagine being any amount of pregnant and bartending. And I like see people doing it and I'm like, respect. But I don't know. I just,
Yeah.
a whole new set of questions are always in my mind about like, is this feasible? Do I have to like change my entire like
Jordyn,
work
what
life?
are your thoughts on that?
Yeah.
You know, I think, we had a unique journey too into stepping into this. We actually we went a non-traditional route and went through the whole IVF process. So that process is so intentional that also involves way more appointments, way more emotional stress, and way more, leading up to
Is
that
it like
point.
would you say trauma or just?
It was definitely a situation that also kind of made us work through some of our past childhood trauma
Got it,
in going through that, because for us this was very intentional. We didn't accidentally become pregnant, and I think also even if we had her in the most traditional way, I think that we during that time of pregnancy still would have looked similar in the sense of we want to have an environment where she's not an inconvenience, right? Like we are being very intentional with having a family-friendly environment for the restaurant. For those of us listening, it's a Diego in Westtown.
That's what I'm saying.
I was like, let's go, Diego, Westtown, let's go.
And if there's a lot of, especially when she was just born, because she was only 8 months old when Diego opened.
Wow.
So we had her as an infant at our pop-up at Soho House, and then also when Diego opened, like she was just like always there. And I think now she's now 2.5 and a lot more mobile, and
adorable as all get out.
And it's honestly helped us. Our team is so amazing with her, and we have also got a team that's so patient and caring to kids in our community.
She's so active.
We have so many regulars. We have one of our regulars that came in. He was like, I walked in one day and I saw the guy. I thought he was like a manager or something, and he had his like kid with him. And I came back because I found a little corner place that I can have my kids, and I'm not going to feel guilty about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's definitely changed our perspective in wanting to create a very family-friendly environment, because restaurants aren't super friendly sometimes, especially with smaller kids. Yeah. And we actually just had a vacation in Guadalajara the first couple weeks in January, and it was such a different switch.
I was just like, Jordyn, it's like, I'm in Guadalajara. I was like, okay, well, goodbye.
So, you know what's insane? Guadalajara is a major city.
Yeah.
Extremely diverse. The architecture and the food is just so far beyond Chicago. It's silly. But their intention with putting the family unit at the top of the entire community's priority, whether it was like a small little cafe or a large restaurant that was in, their giant outdoor walking mall, there was always something for the kids to do. There's so many establishments that had like little play areas for toddlers. There's massive climbing structures, in the middle of the walking mall. There's a place where you can like have your kids watched with, oversight that's like super affordable, so that you can just have them play in this like big giant play area. There was always something for the kids everywhere you looked, and I've never seen that in any city in the U.S. ever.
I was gonna say it happens a lot more outside of the U.S. because like growing up in Trinidad, I remember like wandering around a restaurant and no one is like bothered by it, and our favorite place was this Chinese spot, which when I go back to Trinidad in October, I'm telling my mom I want to go there because there is nothing more mind-boggling to me than full Chinese people with Trini accents. I know I grew up there, but every fucking time I'm like,
listen.
Yeah.
I mean,
but
as much as we are, I mean, you know, Caribbean, everywhere, everyone else is everywhere as well.
Exactly.
And like, I mean, the world is to be explored. It's to be, you know,
Bruh,
I feel like
you
people
know
would
that my
like, it's to be like
great-grandmother
conquered,
is
but I
Chinese?
feel like
Trini Chinese?
it's for us to explore the world and for everyone else to explore the world.
So
back
I
to my
saw-
comment
Yeah.
on that is that they would like literally hold me while my parents ate dinner. Like the servers
Amazing.
or like the bartender, they'd just like so that people can eat. That's how like it is in a lot of like rural areas. I think it's the commodification of cities and wanting to like showcase this childless world where literally we had to be children to be here. So I get annoyed when like not annoyed. I just feel sad for my friends now because a lot of them don't have friends with kids. Or like I go out to the suburbs and hang out with like one of my friends from high school and her kids and her husband, and they like want me to come for family stuff, and I like that. And my friends are like, I'm so jealous, you know, children. And I'm like, they're out there.
Yeah.
And they come into our bar at the social. It's very like family friendly and stuff. And like, I can't tell you the number of times I've held a baby behind the bar. That might not be legal, but when I see them, I'm like, can I hold your baby? Like a crazy person. And they're like, yup. And I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Hold
think
a
that
baby.
that kind of environment is important, and I think especially Chicago's not really known for that. You kind of have to find the places that you don't feel like a total jerk with a kid that might be throwing a fit. So that I think also having that experience with our team and then wanting people in our community to feel really welcome. We have a lot of regulars and a lot of regular kids that come. That's kind of that's pretty cool. And
you get to see them grow.
Yeah, and you get to be, I think, position yourselves to step forward in, you know, this career and this desire that we have to create these experiences, environments for people, but then doing it in a way that kind of like Oscar said, she's a part of that process. It's not like, oh my gosh, we have a kid, how do we do this? And she's kind of, become our world in such a beautiful way. I feel like we're a little just butterfly in the wall of her experiencing life.
Yes.
And
I love it.
you know, we both come from very messy childhoods and very chaotic childhoods. And so it's been very intentional too to not only work through that together, but to give her an environment where we're not passing on our childhood trauma.
Yes.
We're, I'm sure there's
generational trauma stops here.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
she'll have her own little versions, but
Right.
nothing remotely similar to what either of us experienced.
From the minute kids are born, and this is terrifying when I learned this in one of my early childhood development classes, the professor was literally like, there's nothing you can't do to stop them from experiencing hardship in life. Like, even from how long you let them cry and like all that stuff, all of that is informing who they are. So it's hard to raise someone without there being something, but it's easy to avoid giving them your specific somethings if you are willing to do that. So I have no children, but I know a lot and talk about it a lot. I love them.
You're like, and
I'm going to have a baby.
I was like, I know. No,
It's gonna happen.
absolutely.
And so Oscar, how's that been with Ileana?
Yeah. And also, I will say, go ahead, Oscar. But afterwards, have to, start wrapping this up. But I do have a few questions after.
Please,
Go
please.
ahead, Oscar.
I'm just enjoying it right now. I mean, I just really am. I'm thankful for the season that we're in. We're able to spend a lot of time together, and
she's a gem, truly. Because I'll have meetings with Jordyn, and it's just like I was just like. I was like, Jordyn,
pure serotonin.
What? I was like, yeah. I was like, oh my God, that was adorable.
Yeah.
That was adorable. It's like, well, what about this? I was just like, yeah, that's fine. But I was like, look.
Yeah.
I was like, come on. But I was like, yeah. I was like, let's figure it out. And
Can
and
you
we
let
did,
Oscar finish his comment?
I know. I'm sorry. I'm just
Yeah.
saying in general. I'm saying.
I would
I'm
just say that.
celebrating their daughter.
Oh my God. Every time he starts to talk.
I'm sorry, Oscar. Okay, Mike's.
I can do this all day.
Yeah.
No, you. Go ahead.
Well,
Go ahead.
just on a practical note, we've had to learn how to navigate that. So, it's a lot of, taking turns and sharing responsibilities, and because we can't all three be together all the time.
Yeah.
But
Right.
right now we don't have a ton of options for care outside of like my mom or her mom here and there. So just on a practical side, you just need to
Have
be able to
support.
share responsibilities, have
Yeah.
support, and and work out the scheduling.
Listen,
Yeah.
I be hanging out with my friends' kids for free. So I am qualified in CPR, and I live in Rogers Park. If you ever need someone,
Nobody
who
was
wants
treating
to
this as an
just saying.
interview for you both.
Yeah.
So, okay,
If you
great.
panic, need someone to cover.
And
And I was like, she will be there.
I'd be
and
off.
so we're coming up on time. I would love just to give appropriate dialogue to Realm, right? Like that is such a dynamic and beautiful space. I want to ensure that it is in, partnership or parallel to Diego, because it's in my mind. Obviously, Jordyn knows this as well, and Oscar, I'm sure you know this as well. It's equally as impactful, but it's very different. And I want you both to be able to kind of talk about your intentionality and your goals for that space, because it truly is something special.
I'll let you take the lead on starting this combo.
yeah, I mean, I think for me the relationship with Diego and then the restaurant that's will be opening later this year. There's the whole community aspect. The community aspect is just something that overflows into everything that we do. So, we have a lot of cool friends that are creatives, event people, chefs,
Almost
somms,
want like a hub, right?
beverage people, people that like to throw dinner parties, so there's a lot of overlap just, with the community. So we've been able to integrate a lot of our community, I think, for different reasons at across our businesses. I think that's been really incredible. I think they help each other in that way because of that, because they're both hospitality,
Yeah.
and so they're just in different neighborhoods, which is good. I think it's been helpful. It's been helpful to have them run along side by side.
Yeah.
Question:
Absolutely.
Why the name Diego?
Diego is a concept that focuses on the north of Baja,
Okay.
Mexico. So Baja is the peninsula, and then it's actually two states: the south, Baja Sur, and the north, Baja Norte. And so the north is very much informed by the border of Tijuana and San Diego.
Okay.
So culinarily speaking, it has Diego vibes.
Okay.
So,
Nice.
and we just thought it was a cool name for a bar.
Yeah.
So
You're like,
Chef Stevens, my business partner, he's from Chula Vista, and he's from that part.
Okay.
Awesome.
Sick.
Very
I was
nice.
like, Diego.
Yeah.
tell me more.
Yeah,
And
we
also,
have,
so
we have
I have
people
one-
also come
Go
in and
ahead,
like,
Jordyn.
man, I love Diego. I know Diego. I'm like, do you? Do you know Diego? Tell me.
I answer to Diego.
Yes.
Fair.
Sometimes I have the energy to correct people, other times I don't.
My
That's fair.
favorite thing is when people come in thinking that saying something about like the owner or who they think the chef is or whatever is gonna like get them something extra, and I just play into it. I'm like, yeah,
Right.
here's your whole bill.
That's fair.
Like, oh my god, you.
Thank you for your support.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, is there anything that you want to share about late spring programming, early summer programming, like something that you're like really excited about
Things coming up in
as
the
we,
line.
move into close, which I don't want to do, but
We
I know
never
that we
do.
have to.
This season is a very exciting season for us. I think the biggest one is we are relaunching a pop-up dinner series at Soho House.
Love
Okay.
it.
That's going to
Nice.
run
Sick.
through the spring, and it's going to be very intentional because we're kind of ramping up towards the opening of the brick and mortar. So it's a preview of the menu. We'll be testing
If we're
out.
not there covering it, we're gonna be really upset. Just so you know.
Yeah, everybody's invited.
I literally
Like,
never even walked past Soho House. I
Yes,
couldn't
you
tell
have.
you when.
I will show you.
What street is it on?
It's on green.
It's across the street from Sawada Coffee.
yeah.
No.
Yes, you have.
Okay.
It's okay.
Listen,
Yeah,
I know that it
we'll
is a
take a
big
journey.
deal. I just don't go outside. Okay? I don't be outside.
That's fair. Well, you about to be outside for this?
I know. I'll go outside if I have to,
That's fair.
but
Well,
I'm not outside anymore.
I
Indoor
know.
cat.
You are an indoor cat,
Mhm.
but it's just
I like fancy treats and warm blankets.
We'll have both at the.
Okay.
You're like,
wait.
you know what? Yeah.
Will I maybe get to meet your tiny
Oh,
human?
100%.
Ha! I'm in.
Yes.
Count
Yes.
me
Yes.
in.
So-
Y'all are great, but I want to know about her.
It's just-
We know what it's really all about. Yeah. So that's an exciting venture. I think our staff is super excited to
Hell yeah.
learn and kind of start to get to prepare for the opening. And Diego in the spring and summer is very active. So we have a beautiful patio.
Yeah.
We have garage doors that open up, and it's for this season it's really incredible. We do a lot of
And y'all are such a vibe.
Yeah,
It's such a vibe. It's such like it's easy. It's approachable. It's aspirational. It's just like it's cool. Like you all do like such a fucking phenomenal job.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean
you
it's
do.
it's been so much fun.
and it feels effortless. It really does.
So we're doing a lot of cookouts, a lot of events, a lot of fun stuff, collaborations, and we always post it on Instagram. So if you want to see what's going on or just come check us out, that's the best way to find out.
Drop the Instagram.
Right now.
Diego X Shy.
Sweet.
Gotcha.
Awesome. Well, we're at
wrapping
that
up.
point.
We're wrapping
We're
up.
at that point, but then also I think that it's really important for like if you want the both of you, how do you want people to find you and the other businesses that you have?
Like, do you want to drop your Instagrams? You don't have to.
I think, yeah. So I feel like right now, obviously, we're in March here.
Mm-hmm.
So Diego is live and active. Sueños is SUENOSCHI. That's going to be very active
On Instagram
and Facebook. RIP TikTok.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think
And Realm.
and Realm, Realm RLM _ Chicago.
Mhm.
I think the biggest way to, stay in touch and see what's happening. We always try to keep our socials updated with all the fun things.
Yeah.
And we're always looking for ways to connect with people outside of just the traditional modes of
Right.
Online.
Right.
Yeah.
So, really quickly, before we continue to move on, the one thing that I will say about Realm, it falls in line with the Biko in terms of service commitment to be a part of community, right? And not only from the execution, but like the warmth of the space to where it's easily referable to other people. That's something that is truly beautiful, and you have all just killed that. And I know that we talk extensively, Jordyn, but it doesn't go unnoticed, and it's something that I always want to bring people to because it matters, and it's extremely valuable. Because everything that I always hear is just like, I don't know about this, and this. It's like, why don't you just look at a turnkey solution, and it's amazing, and I get emotional thinking about it because it's absolutely beautiful to see it in practice instead of it just being an idea. So, great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
cool.
of course. Yeah. Nuiba.
I think you have to do all the things that you usually do because you opened up this episode. So I
Yeah, well, I mean, shout out to our partners at Blind Barber for hosting this necessary conversation. And also shout out to JoJo for the documentation, Max for the production, you, Jordyn, Oscar. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. And also, hi, Marcus. We love you so much.
indeed.
Yeah. Keep this on the edit. Yeah. And I'm just No Night Grammar. You can find me on Instagram at This Is Biko.
And my name is Nariba Shepherd. You can find me on Instagram at It's Reba. Ooh, it's Rebaru.
Let's figure it
You
out.
can
One
find
more
me
time.
on Instagram at Rebaru, Rebaru. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Peace.